Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. JC here with another video on Action Taimanin. Today we're gonna check the new limited set for Lina. But before we start, don't forget to leave a like, share and subscribe if you enjoy the content. So as you already know, we have the pack for her as well as the gacha. So if you want to roll for this, it is okay. But there are some things that we need to check before you do. First we have the weapon, Sakura Tempest. Sakura Tempest is going to be a very plain weapon. It increases penetration of Coral Sword by 6%, going to 12%, and increases critical damage by 25%, going to 50%. So I was very hyped about this, but then I was told that this weapon is actually not that great because of a small tiny little detail. And it's the fact that we also have Cherry Storm, which is the character release, let's say character release weapon, the premium weapon that it's on the premium gacha all the time. So passive, increase critical damage by 28%. That's 3% more. And also it gets double, so it's gonna be 56% damage. So a permanent weapon is better than the limited weapon. I don't know what Gremory was thinking. The only reason this would be actually good if they buffed penetration like a lot, because I cannot believe it. This is way better than the limited weapon. So and in fact, this has an active that reduces critical resistance of the enemy, and this will allow you to crit easily, while the other weapon doesn't. So yeah, the weapon isn't that great. Then we have Kikajin Sword. Kikajin Sword is the SR weapon, and it is important to talk about this just because it's one of the few limited SR weapons that doesn't have increased damage against super armor effect. So when using a skill, increase critical rate by 7% and stack up to 3 times. That's gonna be 21%. Let me check. When it's maxed out, how much is it? Here I have the weapon. Here. So 14. 3 times. Wow, that's a lot of critical rate. I can tell you that. So of course, it has SR stats. Of course, it has. It's not very viable, but it is impressive in its own right. And lastly, we have Lina. We're gonna check Lina here. So just so that you see it before I finish. Do I? I think not. I think I don't have it equipped. No, I do have it equipped. It's here. Here are the stats when it's maxed out. And let's see the supporter. The supporter is here. When your HP is above 50%, penetration increases by 20%. 10% at base. When using a skill, reduce cooldown time of skills by 30% by using 10% of particles. 20% at base. Activates every 10 seconds. So there are some things that you should be aware of. You can start using your skills, but probably, most likely, unless it's a skill with multi-hit, you're not going to charge that 10% requirement. So you can use your other skill, then do basic attacks, and lastly use your third skill to get the cooldown reduction. Then reduce damage taken from demon type enemies on allies by 30%. That's amazing. I mean, the second effect on the main passive is pretty unique and makes this really viable. But this one is like a main effect, or a main effect on another main effect on this. It is very chunky. 30% is appreciated. Though it is restrictive, it is worthy to use. And then you slash all enemies with a blade aura hidden in Cherry Blossom that deals 1200 of damage. So that is okay, it's a good number for damage, but the active doesn't matter. Gremory, I think it's about time that you already add another good effect on the actives, so that we want to use these on the active. I mean, we already want to use them, but I think the next step on power creep would be to add an effect that buffs or debuffs the enemy. Buffs the character or debuffs the enemy. So yeah, this is super good. I really appreciate it. It gives more value to characters that have high cooldown. But there is something that we need to talk about before we start checking the builds and everything. So characters have how many? 1, 2, 3. That's 10 skills. And from those 10 skills, you're not going to probably use the all color skills like this, and this, as well as the one that requires 3 octopus field in this case. So you're not gonna use this or this, as well as this, if you're using that supporter on a mixed build. Okay, there are some exceptions. Yes, there are some characters which give a ton of value with these skills, with the pure color skills, even if they don't have the 3 colors. Usually that would not be a good idea, but there are some that work, so keep that in mind. But in most cases, if you use Lina and you go mix, you're not going to be using this, and the basic enhancers. And some characters have 2 basic enhancers, so yeah. That leaves you with how many skills? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you only have 5 skills to make combos on mixed builds for when using Tempest Lina. So yeah, it is kind of rough to use her on mixed builds. It is possible, yes. I haven't done any builds for that just yet, but keep that in mind, that it's not the most versatile. You usually want to use her on pure green builds. So with that out of the way, let's test her super quickly. Here, I'm gonna use the weapon as it is, but another thing that I should mention is that just as the gacha weapon is better than this one, the best weapon for Lina is this one. Lina is already a fast attacker with the basic enhancer, and this gives you 2% of critical damage for each stack for each hit that you deal. I mean, you can lose them, but it's super easy to get those stacks, and you can get up to 50 stacks. So that's gonna be 100% more critical damage. It is just way too good, and on top of that, you're getting speed increase. So this is the best weapon for Lina. Unfortunately, not this one. This is a shame. I mean, the limited set weapons are supposed to give identity, even if they are not like super busted, like let's say rings. It is still usable and it has its niche, but this feels like too generic, and it's bad comparing it to the premium weapon that's always available. I mean, I don't know what Gremory was thinking, but in any case, I'm going to use it. I'm going to use critical. I'm going to go with this on the subslot with whatever Magatamas. Coral Sword, of course, because we want to use this. Coral Sword is super important whenever you use this weapon. No, it's not super important, but it is a strong skill. I cannot deny that. And then I'm going to use Cherry Blossom Frenzy and Cherry Blossom Binding Storm. One thing that you're going to notice is that Lina is very slow with this kind of build. She's strong, but she isn't as fun as playing with the butterfly weapon and with a basic enhancer. So even though this supporter is very strong, I actually don't think it pairs well with Lina. And if you're going to use this supporter with a character who specializes on crit or damage, just go with pure damage on the supporters. Instead of going balance, defense, or something like Micah, just go pure crit, and that's it. In this case, I don't even need the critical rate because I have the Magatamas and the weapon enchanted. So I'm gonna quickly beat this stage so that you can see how strong this is. And as I mentioned, the important thing is that you want to use your skills immediately. And then I evade. And then, now that I have particles, I do this. And just abuse your skills. So yeah, as you can see, it deals a ton of damage, and it's nice, but I'm quite disappointed with the weapon now that I compare it with everything else that Lina can use. So yeah, I eliminate everything. Well, almost everything with one combo. And there we go. So, easy. Now here comes the difficult part, because there are 3 bosses, but if I do this correctly, I won't have any trouble. I do this, and then I recover HP. I'm going to use the active. There, easy peasy. Yeah, it is strong, I won't deny, but the weapon feels like a consolation prize when you compare it with all the other weapons that Lina can use. It's just bugging me. Like, I don't feel the synergy. I don't feel the synergy in this set. Especially because Lina's basics are just so strong that you actually want to use the basic. But this supporter is designed to abuse skills. So I'm not sure what Gremory was thinking. Even though it's usable, it doesn't feel as synergistic as other supporters. But don't get me wrong, this supporter is really, really good. I'm gonna use it with other characters. Let's see. For example, one that I know that I prepared was... where is she? Here she is. Asuka. So for Asuka, this is the set. So it is a classic critical green, and I'm not going to do any limitations here, so I'm going to use Kill 'Em All missiles along with Mag Impact, which are 2 really strong skills, and Spiral Blast just because it has a good effect, and that's the main reason why I'm using this. It has multi-hit. Bomb Escape, while useful, it is not my favorite in green, and you could also use Slice Zone, that's also really good. But since it doesn't have an added benefit other than damage increase, I'm not using it. I prefer the defense reduction so that I can kill everything super quickly with Mag Impact. So yeah, and I cannot use Dust Cyclone since I'm using Mag Impact. So yeah. The weapon is going to be, of course, Serpent of Carnage. Super important weapon. You should have it 5 out of 5 if possible. I mean, we already received 4 copies, but this is a super amazing weapon because it gives HP recovery for Asuka, Lina, Suruga, and Kowaru. And critical damage Magatamas. This is 5 out of 5, both only +2. And she is level 81. Let's check it super quickly. And yeah, this is gonna be super great. I just need to Mag Punch. Then I do this, and I attack like this. Excellent. Nice. Yeah, this isn't like super consistent because it is best used on characters with a good amount of multi-hits, so that they charge their particles quickly. You could also use this with what's the name? With I forgot the name, but Mecha. Mecha, because you remember that Mecha is going to give you a small attack buff that goes up to, I think, 50% when you reach the max amount of particle charge. So you're going to constantly be depleting your particles, but you can actually, you have 10 seconds to charge them, so you can actually reach the top, reach the maximum amount, and then you constantly reduce them if you don't use the ulti, and you constantly increase your attack because of that. So yeah, easy peasy. Let's see. Mach Punch. Kill 'em all missiles. Mach Punch again. Kill 'em all missiles. Mach Punch again. So that's the idea, that you rotate between skills. If I can just... Okay. Skill. Kill them all. And... off. The confusion. Oops. Kill them all. And... Mach Punch. There we go. So yeah, there's many characters who can benefit from using this. Any attacker that in green has long cooldowns is gonna be good. Let's see. Which other one? I don't remember. Did I use Shiranui? I don't think so. But I'm gonna check. This, no. Then, Gremory, you also have to add the preparation button here. I don't know why we don't have it, but it is a great idea. I know that Murasaki is one that I prepared, but oh, Nagi. Yeah, I think I did Nagi. Here, Nagi, there. So why Nagi? She is another good attacker with very high cooldown. That's why we do it. So the idea is that we use these skills that have both multi-hit and are going to be very useful. And then you use Moonshade to reduce the cooldown. It can be like you use Flutter and then Storm Dance, and then it activates the effect depending on the amount of hits that you do. But if you don't, you can use Moonshade then. So yeah, it is pretty simple. Of course, I'm going to be using the limited weapon. It is very good. Whatever weapon here, a PvP weapon. Whatever Magatemas, critical Magatemas. Let's see. Storm Dance, Flutter, Moonshade, Lina, Kawaru, yeah, and Suruga. So very quickly, let's go with this. So what's the command? This one. I do this, and then if I am able to, they then don't let me. Okay, I'm gonna do it again. So it was. What is the command? Yes, during normal attacks, hold attack. Yeah, it was supposed to do that after doing Flutter. So I'm gonna try it one more time. Okay, so I do flutter, dealing a huge amount of damage, and then I do this, and I do this. Like this. Nice, 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 nice. Well, a shame that I was in the middle of that attack, but it's fine. I can recover HP. Where? There. Okay. So I just attack, attack, and he's about to die. There we go. Yeah, like Nagi really likes the cooldown reduction so that she can recover herself consistently. Because that skill has a really long cooldown. And it's really important to have that HP recovery. Come on. Oh, let me... That's the one thing that I don't like. That she still has the problem of being pretty... yeah. I could not. She's prone to interruptions, so whenever there are multiple enemies, she's going to have that problem. Like, this happened when I was testing this. I expected that I could avoid it, but it's really difficult to activate Storm Dance. Gremory needs to add super armor to this skill so that we are able to perform this attack, because I do my basic attacks. Well, a little bit of natural super armor, or super armor on both basic attacks and Storm Dance, please. That would be really nice, because yeah, it's super annoying that we cannot finish this combo because of that. The next one. Let's go to the next one. Oh, Felicia. So this supporter gets really interesting when you're using characters that are not exactly attackers, but rather supporters. In this case, what are we going to do? We're going to use the both weapons 5 out of 5, plus 10, plus 14. What is this? Critical mega damage, and whatever critical mega damage. So we have Slaying Spree to reduce the speed of the enemy, to do a good amount of multi-hit to charge particle, Vampiric Zone to recover HP, Blood Sight to recover HP. You can change Blood Sight for whatever skill you want. It's just whatever skill that I put. And here, this is going to reduce the cooldown of all the skills, allowing us to constantly debuff the enemy. And since we're debuffing the enemy, why not use Heaviko to inflict another debuff? That's really good. And also, this allows me to use this as a double supporter. It gives me attack and defense, since the enemies are going to be debuffed. So yeah, this is where it gets really fun. Sorry. There it is. So I just do this, and I reduce the cooldown, and I use it again. Yeah, it is really good, especially for range attacks, because you can control better when you're going to use them. So I do this, and then I evade, and I I reduce the cooldown, and I do this again, and I do this. Okay. So, one more time. Yeah, it is super fun to do this. I really wish that Gremory doesn't move this skill. I think that from Felicia, this is the most likely to be reworked whenever she receives the renewal. But I hope it's the red one. Like, they don't need to change it that much. They just need to buff it, the red one. Because nowadays, I mean, we can crit on some content, but not all content. VR, you know? So maybe reducing critical preemptively and doing 2 hits. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, like Micah is a really good option for someone like this who is going to do constantly multi-hits. And then she's going to not going to use the ulti, not going to use an active, and then she's going to gain a ton of attack. 50% attack. There. Super easy. Yeah, I really love what Felicia is able to do in green. I hope that Gremory doesn't change that. Please, Gremory, don't. It is one of my favorites. And then, let's see. Whoa! Yes, let's do this! Spinel is probably the strongest character with this supporter. She is already strong because of her raw attack, but what really enhances this is the leader skill. The leader skill is going to help you out with every other character, is going to buff them, and when you use this supporter, you're going to constantly use this skill, abuse your skills, thus giving you those buffs and keeping yourself super strong. I'm going to use Red Riding Hood. It has damage increase, so that's fine. It is not the best, but it really enhances what Spinel is going to do, thanks to the speed increase. This, why do I use it? Because it's a permanent buff. You could change this one actually for something that gives you a buff in green. For example, Kanade, but Kanade is not my favorite due to the 2-second duration. If it was at least 5 seconds, I would be okay with it, even if I'm fast enough to keep with it. So, Boulder Quake to gain speed, Explosive Rampage to gain speed, and Crystal Shard Burst just to do the combo with the weapon. Of course, I have the limited weapon here, and whatever PvP weapon, whatever Magatamas, critical Magatamas. So, yeah, this is extremely busted. I love it. Yeah, so we start by doing this, then we run into the enemy, and then we just delete them. As you can see, it is pretty fun. Yeah, I love this. Oh, unfortunately, as you can see, this is a pretty premium strategy. It has three premium supporters, but you can change one of them. You can change Heaviko. So Boulder Quake, and then this, and then Explosive Rampage, and Boulder Quake. Yeah, nice. 1 million damage, very good. Yeah, I mean, it's hilarious. That's what it is. It's hilarious has how fast this is. Unfortunately, you don't have HP recovery, but I was able to manage last time, so let's hope that I do this time. I am confused, that's why. Well, I did manage. Yeah, she's busted with this supporter. I love it. The good thing about this supporter is that it's enabling some synergies with other supporters, like the Micah supporter, the Micah limited supporter, like the Spinel supporter, and also the Heaviko supporter. Now they feel more cohesive than they did. I have always said that all these supporters are good, but they didn't feel like super busted. Now with these synergies, they feel really strong. I really like that. And let's see if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Murasaki, very quickly. Murasaki is kind of good. Let me check something. I don't have that much time. I have to go already, but let's see. I'm gonna do this one super quickly. Murasaki is strong because she's gonna use Rudor Crusher, critical, PvP weapon, 5 out of 5, as you can see, plus 14. Tentacle Hold, Great Example, Tentacle Mine. And I'm gonna be using this. This to deal a ton of damage, melee attack, and this is a supportive set so that you can abuse the slow. I'm using Tentacle. What's the name? I think it's Tentacle. No, Tentacle Hold. But you can use Tentacle Anchor instead, just so that you know. It is a really viable option if you want to use that. Yeah, especially for VR with when you're facing one enemy, that's also really good. I was going to say when facing one enemy on VR, but right now the only... Why would you do that? Oh, maybe it's that I get pulled backwards if I'm confused. Maybe it's that. Come on, there. Tentacle Hold. I want to save my attack, my active for... Yeah. I'm not going to finish this. I could, but I already have to go to work, so I'm just going to show you very quickly one more. This one I might finish because it's way faster, and it's going to be my cam. And I'm just going to do this. I didn't save it. Nice. Well, you should use these skills: Incendiary Round, Carpet Bombing, and Ruthless Explosion, along with the weapon, along with Micah Supporter, then Lina's Supporter, and you can use anything that you want, anything for crit, like Owaru, like Suruga, anything is fine. With that, you're going to abuse Incendiary Rounds, and using the active of this, you're going to gain Particles, so it's pretty good. The idea is that you abuse Ruthless Explosion and Carpet Bombing against multiple enemies to charge your Particles, and then you can pay the cost of using both the active and the Lina Supporter. But unfortunately, I don't have time to show you that, but maybe in another video. So, that's about it, and I'll be seeing you next time. Bye!